Thank you. Good morning and welcome to First Parish in Lexington. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation with love at the center of our values. We come together on our spiritual journeys to support one another and to actively challenge injustice where it exists. Whether you're joining us here this morning in the pews or online, we hope you'll find many reasons to return, and please join us for coffee and conversation and snacks immediately after the service, which is through these curtains. We have several announcements today. For those of you who were inspired by Reverend Ann's Easter sermon to explore more about the historical Jesus, you are invited to meet with her tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. Is that in your office? In her office. So that is going to be fun. We have a budget meeting that was scheduled this afternoon, but it was now going to be postponed. So the semi-annual meeting for all First Parish members will be on June 8th, so mark your calendars, and the meeting to discuss the budget, if in preparation for that meeting, will be rescheduled before then. But I want to alert you that the parish board will be meeting on May 13th for their monthly meeting, and church members are all invited to attend. You can also talk with our parish board member of the week, Jonathan Richardson, who is in the congregation. They have a board member on a very regular basis during coffee hours, so if you have any questions, you can discuss that with him. I want to happily say that the Meeting House Docent Program was a flying success. We had many people come during our daily opening between 10 and 2. We will continue to do so, at least for a number of other weeks. Please check the FP email. If you didn't have a chance to docent before, this is an opportunity to do so. Again, the sign-up sheet will be coming through the email. Finally, we do have, the General Assembly, which is the annual meeting of our entire denomination, needs delegates from this congregation. So any members who want to represent First Parish as one of the 5 delegates at General Assembly, please make contact with Reverend Ann. The General Assembly is an annual meeting. We gather to worship, witness, learn, and connect and make policy decisions together for our association. The highlight will be the visionary journalist and change maker Imara Jones, who will be giving the 2025 Ware Lecture. If you're curious or interested, talk to Reverend Ann. There's several people who have been GA delegates, and I want to also mention that the public versions of the public things like this, the speech that we were just talking about, the Ware Lecture, is available online. And is the GA also virtual? Can you be a virtual delegate? So you don't actually need to go to Maryland. You can be a delegate and watch everything. I, in fact, did it one year on my phone while I was in my vacation home. So please consider it. It's a very interesting thing. So now, after all that, please take this opportunity to put your phones in worship mode and spend a little bit of time getting to know your neighbors.
Good morning, everybody. It's so good to see you all here today. I'd like to invite you to share with a responsive reading for our call to worship. The words will be up here. If you'd like to use our hymnal, it is number 530. It is written by Robert Weston, and I will read one line and then you'll read the next. Out of the stars in their flight, out of the dust of eternity, here have we come. Stardust and sunlight, mingling through time and through space.
Out of the stars have we come, up from time, out from the stars have we come.
Time out of time before time in the vastness of space, Earth spun to orbit the sun. Earth with the thunder of mountains newborn, the boiling of seas.
Earth, born by sun, lit by sunlight, this is our home. Out of the stars have we come.
Mystery hidden in mystery, back through all time. Mystery rising from rocks in the storm and the sea.
Out of the stars rising from rocks and the sea, kindled by sunlight and earth, arose life.
Ponder this thing in your heart, ponder with awe. Out of the sea to the land, out of the shallows came ferns.
Out of the sea to the land, up from darkness to light, rising to walk and to fly, out of the sea trembled life.
Ponder this thing in your heart, life up from sea. Eyes to behold, throats to sing, mates to love.
Life from the sea, warmed by sun, washed by rain, life from within, giving birth, rose to love.
This is the wonder of time. This is the marvel of space. Out of the stars swung the earth. Life upon earth rose to love. This is the marvel of life, rising to see and to know. Out of your heart cry wonder, sing that we live.
Sanctus.
Chalice lighting this morning was written by Lisa Doge. It's one of my favorites. What if sometimes it's not about a light in darkness? What if sometimes it's about sparking potential into possibility and possibility into existence? What if sometimes the flame that burns in the chalice of our faith is nothing less than an ember of hope and nothing more than love set ablaze? What if sometimes all we need to do is follow this flame? One among scores, hundreds, thousands of steadily flickering flames across the land and among so many peoples, on the way to justice and into the land of peace. What if we dare to kindle that flame? And now, please rise in body or spirit and join me in saying our unison affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. And now please continue staying in your body and spirit as we sing the first hymn, O Star of Truth, number 293, and the children may go to their religious education. Exploration.
Hi, I'm Bobby Hodson, and I'm here to introduce you to a Lewis Brown Peace Institute in Boston. That's who we're giving our plate away to today. It's a deeply caring place that not only supports families and friends who have lost a member to murder, but they also work diligently to prevent violence in Boston and beyond. Next Sunday is Mother's Day, and this organization was founded by a mother who lost her 15-year-old son to murder. Initially, the organization's mission was to provide support to the family and friends of murder victims, whether or not the victims had a criminal history, because prior to this, if someone had a criminal history, the family often could not get any services. All are welcomed at this place with dignity and compassion. It has now expanded to include mindfulness courses for these families and friends, groups for those who've experienced violence in their lives, and substantial outreach to train staff to help curb violence through prevention skills. And as many of us are aware, the murder rate in Boston has been going down. Over 15 years ago, I went to a funeral of 16-year-old Jermaine and 21-year-old Ramon, both of whom I had known, both of whom were gunned down in front of their homes. One going to work, the other returning from Saturday part-time work. David Houghton and I, since then, have also found out there is another Metco youth who has become a victim to murder in Boston. Realizing the vulnerability of inner city youth made it clearer how we must all be in this together to stop the violence, and this charity became of great importance to me. Over the last few years, many of you in First Parish have walked on some of the peace walks, which are about 2 times a month. We walk in the conservation lands here and nearby. Being in a peaceful environment and walking with First Parish friends gives us a chance to reflect that not all have such a peaceful environment. I wonder if those of you who have walked could just stand up. I know a whole lot of you are here. Thank you very much for doing that. And the web of life, and unfortunately death, is very deeply interconnected. We have an opportunity to support this worthy charity and a way of deeply sharing in the lives of others. Thank you very much.
Each one of you, I know, has made a commitment of time and energy and resources that helps us all manifest this grand vision of Unitarian Universalism, a world filled with peace and justice, love and joy. And an offering is a sacrament of a free church. So please make a gift in the work for the work of the Lewis Brown Peace Institute. You may point your camera at the QR code in the order of service, and especially if you're online, but if you are here in the sanctuary, ushers will come around. So please, thank you for your continued generosity. The offertory this morning is Spring Comes at Last, with Deborah Yardley Beers on piano and Yunona Tabala, our soprano, singing.
Oh
A reading from the Padawan Handbook, Zen Parables for the Would-Be Jedi. A Jedi who was ruled by anger, by hatred, by jealousy, by desire, is bound to the dark side just as a Minoc binds itself to power cables. A Jedi who harbors resentment and holds on to the thought, that person was cruel to me and showed me no respect, nourishes the dark side in himself. A Jedi who lets go of resentment and releases pride uproots hatred from himself. Ignorance is the path to the dark side. One who is practicing the way must always keep the mind open. Such a one must observe, listen, learn. The truth is found in the most unlikely of places. Like biker scouts at the head of an army, thought is the vanguard of all action. If your thoughts are influenced by the dark side, your actions will be evil. Observe your thoughts carefully, for they may be leading you down the path of the dark side. Anger is a powerful emotion of the dark side. It can destroy harmony and lead to argument, conflict, and even death. When anger arises in you, do not give in to it. Remain mindful, observing the anger, but not acting upon it. If you believe someone else is the cause of your anger, look again. They are a mirror reflecting your own mind. Hatred cannot defeat hatred, young Jedi. If hatred is directed toward you, combat it with kindness. That is the only way to defeat hatred.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I'm sure you didn't expect to hear words from the Jedi Handbook on a Sunday morning. I was a teenager when the first Star Wars movie came out, and I have tried to see all of the movies, the prequels, and some of the series. We just started watching Andor. Has anybody else started that one as well? All right. I offer my sermon today in honor of the day. May the 4th be with you, as they say. I do love the stories, the epic fight of good against the overwhelming power of evil. And of course, I have always connected with the idea of the Force. I did not grow up wanting to be a Jedi Knight, although all of my male friends did. I've always loved the master teacher, Yoda, because of his German syntax, his tiny body, his patience, and his improbable fighting skills. And I've always been curious about what the Force really was. And I wondered if people like me could be in touch with it. Is it some kind of magic known only to the chosen few? Was it just a plot device? Or does it have some kind of parallel in our religious understanding? The director of The Empire Strikes Back has been quoted as saying, "To me, Yoda is a Zen master." Yoda says Zen-type sayings like, "Do or do not, there is no try." Well, Matthew Bartholin is a Star Wars fan, and he's a teacher of Buddhism. He wrote a book a few years ago called The Dharma of Star Wars. I highly recommend it. And Bartholin says that for most of us, we try, we don't do. He writes, "We try to clean the floor, try to put the ship on the land, try to realize the truth of reality. Trying always implies a goal, an end result that doing leads to. We push through the doing to get to the goal, but the thing is, almost every second of life is doing. Goals can be achieved, but in a flash, they're gone. And we immediately turn our attention to the next goal, to the next future, the horizon. We never keep our minds on where we are, on what we are doing, to paraphrase Yoda. And before you know it, 20, 30, 60 years fly by, and we spend almost all of our lives pursuing goals that pretty much only exist in our heads, he says. And then he continues in his writing, he says, realization of the true nature of reality can't come from trying, because trying suggests you already have an idea of the truth that you're aiming for. The concept of the truth is never the truth itself. You must put aside trying and do. Fully engage in the present moment, and then the truth beyond concepts will be revealed. This is called living a realized life. Now, Matthew Bartholin is also a student of Thich Nhat Hanh, a member of his community, so he knows what he's saying. So this teaching about trying and doing feels like the opposite of what my parents always said to me. We encourage our kids to try your best, right? We say that all the time. Knowing that the effort itself is worth doing and not wanting our kids to be perfectionists and give up before they've even begun. But if we get caught up in the concept of trying to do something, we live in the realm of ideas. We judge what we're doing based on preconceived notions of how things should turn out. And this is not a Buddhist way of being. For the Buddhist, it is important to leave the realm of ideas and live in the presence of the moment, not some concept of what the result may or may not be. Do or do not. There is no try. Well, I didn't know much about Buddhism when I first saw the Star Wars movie back in the day, but I remember being very impressed with the whole training process and the concentration needed for the young Jedi. Yes, it was just a movie, but I think this movie series has influenced many generations. It is an incredibly appealing thought to consider that we may have access to some kind of power that exists for everyone who needs it. That if we just focus, if we resist our negative emotions, and we pay attention to what we're doing, we will be able to tap into something much larger than any one of us. I would hazard a guess that the Star Wars of my youth, my children's youth, and now again for the youth of this year, has set the stage for the modern popularity of mindfulness. Kind of like a back door in, right? Because unlike for theistic religions, in Buddhism there is no deity to whom people must appeal in order to get special help when it's needed. Instead, a person must train their mind and their body, analyze their motives and emotions, and simply access a democratic power that exists for everyone, believers and non-believers alike. As Obi-Wan Kenobi says, the Force is an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us, it penetrates us, it binds the galaxy together. Well, now that I've studied Reiki and have practiced Qigong and Tai Chi, this all makes much more sense to me. Qi, the flow of energy, right? Life itself is creating an energy field linking us together. As a kid, I was more caught up in the Christianity of my youth, and I saw the Force as a symbol for God. Outside of me, outside of this earth, a divine power separate from humanity and from the world. But now, as a Unitarian Universalist, I'm more likely to view this as a symbol of the power that we have within ourselves, a power that is strong because it connects us to each other. It is not just a power of one individual connected to the source. It is the power of all of us connected to each other, which is the source. The connection is the source. That's where the power lies. Now, Matthew Bartlett teaches about karma. I have often heard people refer to karma as the situation you find yourself in as the result of your past actions. What goes around comes around, they say. But Bartlett teaches that karma is actually the intentional thought or action of the present, not the result of past action. He writes, karma is about what you are doing right now. The past is gone, the future is only a fantasy. Here and now, we can choose to perpetuate the mistakes of our past or stop them and take a new course. Good can only be realized in the present. Only when you're fully present here and now can you know what is the right thing to do now. Well, what I hear in this teaching is that we always have the opportunity in every moment to make the choice that we want to make. We are not subject to destiny or being perpetual victims of our past. We are not trapped in the consequence of our past choices. If we can actually be fully aware of our present moment, we can clearly make the choice that we want to make in that moment. We do not have to react out of habit or out of extreme emotions. The Buddhist practice is to be so aware of your own mind that you can see emotion rising before it clouds your judgment. As we heard earlier in our reading, anger is a powerful emotion of the dark side. It can destroy harmony and lead to argument, conflict, and even death. When anger arises in you, do not give in to it. Remain mindful, observing the anger, but not acting upon it. If you believe someone else is the cause of your anger, look again. They are a mirror reflecting your own mind. Hatred cannot defeat hatred, young Jedi. If hatred is directed toward you, combat it with kindness. That is the only way to defeat hatred. The most powerful moment for me in the Star Wars saga is a beautiful exposition of this teaching. As you may remember, Luke Skywalker was trained to use the Force for good and to resist going to the dark side. His father is Darth Vader, a powerful general for the evil emperor. I'm sure you all remember these plot points. When Luke and his father are finally engaged in mortal combat, the emperor laughs wickedly and encourages the young Jedi to use his anger to kill his father and come to the dark side. But Luke puts down his weapon quietly and says he will not fight. He will not give in to evil. He calms his mind and he refuses to use violence. The exposition of this moment is developed in the origin of Darth Vader, how as young Anakin, when he saw his mother killed, he gave himself over to anger and became a tool for evil. But Luke's act of gentleness gives him another chance for connection, for the power of love to win out over the power of anger. As Luke exclaims to his dying father, "I want to save you," and the reply comes quietly, "You already have." This moment of redemption is a riveting one for me on so many levels. Forgiveness, quiet strength, the force of good. These are values that I hold dear. What Bartholin teaches is that this is also an act of karma. Luke has been programmed by his training to fight. He's overwhelmed by his fear for his sister and his anger at his father, for the violence of his life, for his feelings of abandonment. But Luke makes a different choice. Seeing this through a Buddhist lens, we see that Luke is able to calm his mind, to see his emotion for what it is, and lessen the control this negativity has over him. He does not give in to the urging of the evil emperor. Instead, he lays down his weapon. He makes a conscious choice to act in love and courage. He chooses his karmic moment. He acts out of his free will, and he resists the instructions of his teacher, who had told him that he must kill Darth Vader. He also resists the prompting of the evil emperor, again, to kill. And the fruit of this karma is that by Luke saving his father, Darth Vader is then able to make a decision which changes everything. He chooses to destroy the evil emperor, thereby saving his son, even while he brings about his own death. Now, Luke is able to resist the violence of his emotions and the urgings of his teachers. He is able to make his own decisions based on the values that he has discovered for himself during his years of training. He realizes that he is not separate from his father, but he is one and the same. And he chooses to do what his father could not do. He conquers the hate in his own heart. And in so doing, he transforms suffering. Rather than giving into blind rage, he opens his eyes and sees his anger for what it is. He sees that he is also capable of violence and hatred. This is the human condition. It is the truth that we all hold within us. And by seeing this clearly, he is able to make the choice not to act as his father had done, with the anger born of suffering. But with this clear sight, he is able to put aside his anger and offer compassion. And that makes all the difference. In terms of the story, that saves the galaxy. The Star Wars saga is a story of a people who resist the evil powers of empire, greed, and control. We must do this as well. Now, we might not be given the opportunity to save the galaxy, but the actions of our current administration are having worldwide implications. One president's action to impose tariffs would be enough, but to defund renewable energy, to get rid of government agencies which have kept us safe, educated, and filled with art, enough. We need to save this planet. We do not need to be Jedi Knights to be tempted by violence and fear. We do not need to live in a galaxy far, far away to see how power corrupts. We do not need to leave this planet to see how greed and hatred are running rampant in the wildly exaggerated rhetoric in the public square. We only need to turn on the evening news. So the parallel may not be so far-fetched, don't you think? Here in this sacred space, we can gather and prepare ourselves to make positive choices in our own lives. Here we can take the time to examine our minds and our hearts, to listen deeply to our own truth. Here we can practice mindfulness, cultivate compassion, and examine our own areas of anger, hurt, and all too human suffering. Here in this religious community, we can help each other to live out the values of courage, compassion, and honesty, which we hold so dear. My friends, we may not be a Jedi community leading the resistance against the Empire. That is the stuff of fiction, thank goodness for that. And yet, resistance is more important in this time than it has ever been in my lifetime. It is a personal and public need. It is a political and a spiritual need. We must train ourselves in the art of resistance. We are a community which can practice mindfulness. We can recognize our own ability to act out of clear choices. We can realize the possibility of creating our own karma. We can do this, not just try to do this. We can do this. And in so doing, may we all be blessed with realizing the strength of the power of our good energy, the force of our collective love. May that force be with you. Amen. that was a blessing. Thank you, choir. I'd like to invite us all into a time of prayer, of meditation, of connecting with your own chi, however you want to experience this time. And we will be lighting candles in the rear of the sanctuary. Just come down the center aisle and go to either side. Give yourself space while Sarah is playing to listen to what you need to express by lighting a candle of something joyful or something that you are afraid of or sorrowful for, and see if the ritual of that embodied prayer might bring you a moment of comfort as these candles burn together. So please join me. Thank you, Sarah, for that appropriate music from the film. I'd like to share a prayer that I was gifted from our Standing on the Side of Love team. They put together a reflection of lament and spiritual nourishment for the first 100 days of our administration. And it is shared with love and solidarity. Spirit of life, we gather with hearts broken open, souls aching by the weight of the world, by the wounds of history, by the cruel persistence of injustice. How long, O Spirit, must our bodies be made into battlegrounds? How long must the earth be sacrificed at the altar of profit? How long must we abide by an economy of disposability where Black, Indigenous, people of color, transgender, and disabled lives are traded for another's right to exist, another's claim of safety? How long must this world run on stolen labor, stolen land, and stolen lives for the sake of greed and the lie of supremacy? We lament the silence that has stretched too long, the complicity woven into our comforts, the slowness of our response when urgency was demanded. We grieve the gap between our values and our actions, between the pragmatic and the prophetic. Forgive us for the times that we have turned away. Forgive us when we have mistaken quiet for peace, and civility and decorum for justice. But let this lament not be the end. Let our sorrow carve space for resolve. Let our tears water the seeds of uprising. Let our faith rise from the ashes, not innocent, but braver, wiser, more centered in love. May we be a people who side with love. May we be a people who disrupt, who dismantle, and who dream. May we be a people who remember that we are always on the horizon of transformation. And there, may we greet our collective liberation. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. Our closing hymn is 148 in the gray hymnal, or the words are on the screen. Let freedom span both east and west. Please rise and sing as you are able. I close with words of Lao Tzu. If there is to be peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there is to be peace in the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there is to be peace in the cities, there must be peace between neighbors. If there is to be peace between neighbors, there must be peace in the home. And if there is to be peace in the home, There must be peace in the heart. Please be seated for our postlude.